Good morning and welcome to episode 7 of the JMCSS podcast for the district. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. I'll be joined today by several Mustangs and Lady Mustangs from Madison Academic, including state champion coach Brian Buchholz for Madison Cross Country and Track, and Madison Academic graduate Brennan Forrest. Brennan is a kinesiology major in his junior year at UT Knoxville. He's also a manager for the Vols football team. For the district, the JMCSS podcast is a production of the Jackson-Madison County School System in partnership with Forever Communications. You can listen to this episode on demand on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Let's begin episode 7 with an announcement from the Fine Arts. Market calendars for the JMCSS Art and Choir Showcase, Thursday, November 3rd at Liberty High School. This is a district-wide event as middle and high school art students will display art in the foyer there at Liberty at 5:30, while middle and high school students will compete in the choir portion at 6:30. Again, the JMCSS Art and Choir Showcase, Thursday, November 3rd at Liberty High School. So mark your calendars. Let's hop on the bus to Madison Academic, where several members of the cross-country team are on the verge of qualifying for region meets. Now, the ultimate goal, of course, is qualifying for the cross-country state meet in November. Let's welcome Coach Buchholz to the JMCSS podcast for the district. Coach, welcome in.
Thank you.
Pronounce your last name just in the event that I'm butchering your name, Coach.
Well, it's Buchholz.
Buchholz.
Yes, you got it.
But hey, Stephen Piontek, I got that one right. Is that right, yes, Stephen? Sir. And Kristen Henning, members of the cross-country team there at Madison Academic. Coach, it looks like you've worked on your tan a little bit. Is that true?
A little bit
on the beaches of Hawaii.
Yeah,
I know it was business. It was personal. Tell us briefly about your trip to Hawaii.
Well, I had a chance to go to the World Championship Ironman competition, and I wasn't competing. My son Adam, who was a graduate in 2016 at Madison, was competing in the competition, and so we were able to go out there and spend some time and be a part of that with him.
Able to glean some pointers to share with Stephen and Kristen and the team?
Well, that's a lot longer race. So I'm not sure that there's a whole lot of difference there, but as far as picking things up, but you pick up a few things like people preparing and how they take care of themselves and, things like that you want to bring back and talk to your team about.
Coach, set the stage for us. What has cross country been like for your Mustangs and Lady Mustangs this year?
Well, I personally feel like this is one of our best years. It's just been for me, it's been a joy to be with the team this year. And I know that every year is fun and special and things like that, but sometimes you just have those years that are the ones you remember, So I've just enjoyed it so much to be a part of it and be a part of their success and the things that they're doing.
Now, provide some context for our listeners. This is during the time of the Commissioner's Cup in football and basketballs heating up. People may be wondering, why is he discussing cross country? But your program has been very successful. Provide some context there.
Well, so up until last year, we had qualified for the state cross-country meet 14 seasons in a row.
Stop. Was that, did you misread your script?
No.
Is that 14 in a row?
Yeah, so Madison has competed at the state meet for the last 14 years. Yeah.
I knew it was good. I didn't quite know it was at that level. That is awesome. Coach, we'll turn now to Kristen Henning. She's a member of the Lady Mustangs cross-country team. Tell us about your competitions.
Mostly it's a lot of people there, a lot of people there. It's a lot of fun just to run against people and to see how many people are motivated just by running.
Turning now to Stephen Piontek, a member of the Mustangs cross country team. What's it been like for you? I know you participate in track in the spring, and having this experience in the fall and winter, do those correlate? Do they complement each other?
They definitely do. I mean, training throughout the summer really conditions your body to, I would say, have a great track season. You know, all the big meets we've been going to, we mentioned Jesse Owens in Alabama. We had another one in Alabama. They're all pretty high profile meets, and you really get nervous, but you find a breakthrough point to where you're not that nervous anymore, and you can really focus on competing and doing the best of your ability. And I think that running these meets and staying running all year is very important to having a good track season. And the same goes with running track. Running track will get you a good cross country season. It's a great competition.
Brian Buchholz is the head coach of the Madison academic cross country team. He is also the head coach of the track team. Coach, having dabbled in coaching a little bit myself, I know some of the challenges, and I would have to imagine in order to do it this long and at the level you're doing it at, as far as in terms of success, you mentioned previously it was 14 years in a row competing at the state level. Talk about how you approach your job and what you love about it.
I think anyone can run, so I generally don't do things like tryouts and I just always think that it's better to allow the kids to be able to do something if they want to. So, whether it's somebody who's a fast 5K runner or a good sprinter or whatever it might be, I generally see people as either developing into something, whether they start out where they're not very good, they can still become a good athlete at something. And so it's definitely not somebody sitting on the couch not doing anything. We're actually getting them out here and getting them involved, and that gives them confidence and helps them to become better people in the long run. So
we're visiting with members of the Madison academic cross country team. After this break and another visit with these students and coaches, we'll also visit with Brennan Forrest. He's a 2020 graduate of Madison academic. He's currently a junior at the University of Tennessee and a member of the UT football team. Coach, if you can hold on for another minute, we'll take a commercial break and come back and visit with you all, as I know the goal now is that postseason run. So stay with us. You're listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast on JJ 97.7 FM.
The Jackson-Madison County school system is in need of bus drivers. Do you or someone you know have a passion for educating the children of our city? The Jackson-Madison County school system would love to have you join the team as a bus driver. Linda Thomas came out of retirement to help transport our children.
A lot of the bus drivers I know are real good people. They're dedicated. They love their job too, or they wouldn't be here.
You too can help get the children of our city to and from school safely. You can find out more about becoming a bus driver at jmcss.org.
Hi, I'm Kayla Cunningham, a star student at Liberty Tech in culinary arts, and you're watching For the District. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to the JMCSS podcast For the District. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. We're continuing our conversation with members of the Madison Academic Cross Country Team. Their program is one of the most successful in the district. We're joined by Coach Brian Buchholz and athletes Kristen Henning and Stephen Piontek. Now, Stephen's a senior, Kristen is a junior, and I think for someone who works in communications, one of the cool things for me to see is these young people not only participating in athletics, but being well-rounded. So, Kristen, starting with you, talk about some of the other things in addition to sports that you're involved in at Madison Academic.
At Madison, I am in the choir and I do debate, and like a branch off of that, I was picked for Leadership University, and it's just some things that I just do outside of running and basketball.
Well, Stephen, you're in your senior year at Madison. What are some additional activities that you're into?
Well, yes, sir. On top of volunteering at my local church, Coach B actually has given us the opportunity to learn how to code with his coding class. And through the Co and Coach B, we learn how to code, and we compete in the Dev Catalyst coding competition. And I've won twice. And that's one great thing that Coach B has taught us. And I hope to go to MTSU one day and learn how to fly.
Coach Buchholz, the most of the kids call you Coach B?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the show last week, but Principal Amanda Brabham was previously a coach before she got into school leadership, and she was called Coach B. So that's two Coach B's in a row. Hey, back to the X's and O's a little bit. You guys, I know, are trying to make your way into the region tournament and trying to secure a spot, if you're able, to the state cross country meet. Talk about some of the individual performances this year, Coach B, that stick out to you.
Well, so we kind of knew going in that we had a really senior heavy guys team, and that we have some pretty good opportunities to do some things with them. And I'm really proud of those guys for just maintaining and working hard, even when I wasn't here, and just being able to see that what they do is part of their success. And so I'm real proud of the way that they've gone through the season and progressed and done the things that we have been planning to do. So I'm expecting a lot from that at the region meet. On the other side, I don't really, and I really don't want to say there's a specific guy that I'm just saying is I want to highlight or anything, because it's been on any given day that we could have somebody different that's our top guy. And so I just kind of want to leave it at that with our guys team. As far as our girls team goes, I'm obviously really proud of Kristen and the way she's progressed this year. And she's just become both, in a lot of ways, just a better runner, but also just a lot better young lady individual, that I could say that she's really seemed to grow up this year. And we've had a couple additions to the girls team that have just really helped out. It's been a real joy to coach the girls this year. And, we might have placed a little bet on something that I might have to do, and I'm not going to disclose that yet, but that I might have to do if they make it to the state championships this year.
If it happens, we'll have to discuss that in a future podcast.
There might be a picture of it. Yes.
Speaking of photos, let me give a shout out to cross country parents, Marquita Hunt Winston and Bethany Mann Groom. Many of the photos that, if you check this out on YouTube, many of the photos that you will see were courtesy of those parents. So we want to thank them. Brian Buchholz is the head coach of the Madison Academic Cross Country team. He's joined today by Kristen Henning. She's a junior at Madison. Not only does she participate in choir, but she's also in cross country. And Stephen Piontek is a senior at Madison Academic. And Stephen, so you could be flying the friendly skies sometime in the future?
Yes, sir. So a buddy of mine who actually has come and helped us out with cross country with Coach B, Isaac Wayner, I found out that he's going to be going into the Marines. He's going to be a pilot. And I asked him last week if he could take me out, show me what flying's all about, and tell me how I could pursue it as a career. And he took me out, and we get onto the runway, and he says, "All right, take the wheel." And as running is sometimes, you don't have time to be nervous. You just got to get out there and do your thing, or you'll crash and burn, I guess. But I love to fly. I've always loved to fly. Every time I go to the airport, I'm always looking out the window, getting a window seat. And it's just something I really want to do when I grow up. Mm-hmm.
Kristen Henning, Stephen Piontek, Coach B, thank you so much for your time and good luck as you guys move forward. I do want to ask the students one final question. and it may be dangerous to ask you to be brutally honest or just to be honest in general, but it's a podcast, so we're going to be a little wild here. Earlier this year, we visited with the cross-country team at JCT. Their middle school students won the district championships. And Coach B, when you look at the photo, it's a lot of kids participating in middle school cross-country. So the question in closing that I have for Kristen and Stephen, provide some information for us. What can we do as a district or schools to take the enthusiasm that the kids have in middle school and keep them interested and engaged to participate in cross country at the high school level? If we could put magic in a bottle, Stephen, what can we do?
I would say a lot of it just comes down to exposure, just having a coach who wants to teach these kids how to run. And another thing I would say is if we as a community in West Tennessee can start up track. I know a lot of middle school track happens in Memphis and Nashville, and the students that compete in cross country don't really have somewhere to stay running all year, so they can kind of be less sharp. I would just say an opportunity, maybe more clubs, maybe more community initiative to just keep people running, a lot more local races.
Kristen, would you agree with what he said?
I completely agree in a fact that some people just don't agree that cross country is a sport. And I can't see why, because if you want to go out there and run 3 miles, you should be able to. And it's just some people just don't think that it's a real sport. And I think that's what's holding people back.
Well, thank you for your time, and just stand by. There is some exciting news, some progress being made, Coach B, that will be announced later this semester. Coach B, Kristen Henning, Stephen Piontek, coach and members of the Madison Academic cross-country team, thank you for joining us. When we come back, we'll visit with Brennan Forrest. He's a 2020 graduate of Madison Academic. He's currently a junior at the University of Tennessee and a member of the UT football team. As we go away, we'll visit right now with Isaac Ayewu. He's the student council president at JCM and parade chairman Sheila Bingham. They're going to provide a quick recap of the JCM homecoming parade. You're listening to For the District on JJ 97.7 FM.
My name is Isaac Ayewu, and I'm the student council president here at JCM High School. We had a parade. It was a lot to do, a lot to overcome. But you know, when we put it all together and we worked hard and finished it, we accomplished good things today. I had fun. Everyone had fun.
Are you proud of your classmates?
I am. All the hard work and time we put in after school, before school, to see what we've done and accomplished. I think we're moving up. Yes, this event was important to me because I actually play football, and this is our football homecoming. And for me, as student body president, to be able to see what hard work that I've had to do and what the other student council members had to do, I don't know. I can't explain it. Our principal, Miss Dorsey, is kind. She's a hard-working woman. She can be strict at times, but that's because she loves us. Just come to JCM. We have a lot of fun, but we also complete our work and do the assignment that we're supposed to do.
Do you kind of wish you had one more year?
I do, just so I could do this again, have a parade again, have many more pep rallies, have many more events.
What do you hope these students took away from this parade?
I hope that they actually took away that as teachers, we really care about them. We want them to enjoy their high school experience, but also that we have fun and learn at the same time.
My name is Keandre Lee. I'm a star student in culinary arts at Liberty Tech High School. You're watching For the District. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to the JMCSS podcast For the District. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. We are joined by a graduate of Madison Academic, Brennan Forrest. He's a 2020 graduate of Madison Academic. He's currently a junior at the University of Tennessee and a member of the UT football team as he serves as a manager. Brennan, it's an excellent opportunity for a kinesiology major and a former athlete. Welcome to For the District.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. It's a blessing being on here.
Thanks for being here. On the heels of such a huge win over Alabama, I have to ask you, what have the last 4 days been like for you?
The last 4 days have been just really indescribable. Just the whole atmosphere on campus, the atmosphere in the facility, everyone here, all the staff, the players. It's just, we're fired up. I mean, we're ready for the rest of the year. I know we got to move on, but it was fun celebrating for sure.
Before we talk about your days at Madison Academic, tell us about your role on the UT football team there in Knoxville and how that came to be.
So yes, I'm a student equipment manager. So as a whole, we just handle inventory of new gear, all equipment, set up practices, set up games, help the team with travel, hand out anything they need, fix anything they need. And then specifically, I'm the head manager of the wide receiver group. So whenever you see me at practice or at games, I'll be with them. So anything they need, anything the players need, I'm with them, around them. So it's just a fun thing. I had a buddy my freshman year who was a equipment manager, and he kind of brought it up to me. They were losing a lot of seniors, and I just finished high school sports, and I kind of missed the feeling of just being in something bigger than me. And so I talked to my mom about it, and it was a big time commitment, but I don't regret doing it at all. So it's my second year being a manager.
Brennan Forrest, a junior at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville and a member of the UT football team, a 2020 graduate from Madison Academic. Brennan, was there a conversation or a class project at Madison or even at Northeast Middle School that turned your attention toward science and sports studies?
There really wasn't a conversation. I didn't really ever know what I wanted to do till about my senior year. I was a member of the basketball team at Madison, and I had a really bad ankle injury, and it sent me to PT for 2 or 3 months. And I went and did that physical therapy. I was around that every single day. And then it was a bad thing that I got injured, but it's really where I realized what my passion was helping people. And I really enjoyed being in the clinic. So
what's a typical day like for you at UT? Is it an early morning for you?
Oh, most definitely. So coach likes to practice early. So we get there really early. Practice begins at 9:45. We get here at 6:30. So I'm usually up at 5:45 in the morning. We'll get here, set up practice, go through practice. And then I'll just have classes for the rest of the day. So today, I got class at 1:50. So grab some lunch and go to class, and I might have to come back later. We never know. Our boss will let us know. So
when do you have the most fun?
I would say I'm always having fun. I've kind of gained a passion for what I do now, but I think the most fun is definitely the games, especially after the last game, Alabama. That was celebrating and everything. It was probably the most fun I've ever had. So.
And so did I understand correctly that you kind of got your foot in the door as a freshman?
At the end of my freshman year, yes, sir.
Okay. What's been your most favorite, outside of Neyland Stadium, your most favorite venue that you've been able to visit with the team?
I would probably say Death Valley, Tiger Stadium at Louisiana. We just went there recently. It's an amazing stadium. The atmosphere is crazy. The fans are crazy. It's everything you would think it would be. Really, really nice area for sure. Baton Rouge.
Recap your experience at Madison, and you mentioned playing basketball, but you were also in the chorus. I know you had a well-rounded experience. Recap your experience there at Madison Academic.
Yeah. So from the beginning, I came from Northeast Academic Academy. So already my goal was to try to be involved as much as I could be in high school. So I came in and joined the choir. I loved every minute of choir. Miss Patterson, she's still at Madison Academic. I used to do all state, all Northwest choir, everything. And then I did track with Coach Buckholz, who was just on the podcast today. I did basketball. I just tried to stay involved, and I really do miss Madison. We kind of had an unlucky senior year, so I didn't really finish out the way you're traditionally supposed to. But Madison really set a good, solid foundation for me, and I feel like it's one of the reasons I really blossomed in college. So.
A lot of people, Brennan, will look at you and say, man, he's well on his way to being a success. How did your participation in a number of extracurricular activities play into your work ethic and the drive you have today?
Well, I think it's more of just like the more you're into, I think it changes you as a person. So I feel like being more involved, it kind of made me more of a personable person. And it really helped me on my way to network with other people. And the more you network, the more people you know, and the more things you end up being involved in. And being involved has helped me with my time management as well. So it's easy to manage everything that I'm into. So it really is a blessing that I'm able to do so much. And it all started from Madison and Northeast. So.
A lot of people will assume, wow, Peyton Manning's probably the biggest former Vol or the most favorite former Vol you've been around. We don't want to assume that. So I know you get to meet a lot of the alumni there at UT. Is there one that sticks out for you?
Peyton Manning it was really a big moment for me. It was surreal talking to him. Our boss is really close with Peyton Manning. He was a manager when Peyton came to Tennessee, so he's always around. But that was the first time I ever got to get a picture with him, so he's really cool. Al Wilson, he's local from West Tennessee. I've met him a couple of times. When he came last year, we dedicated a game to him. Candace Parker, I really enjoyed being around her. She's really nice. I've probably been around some more big people and just never realized it. Maybe working, they probably walk by, but it's really nice to be able to be around so high people.
Brennan Forrest is a 2020 graduate of Madison Academic. Today, he's a junior, majoring in kinesiology at the University of Tennessee, and he's a member of the UT football team. So we appreciate him taking the time to visit with us on the JMCSS podcast for the district. Brennan, what advice do you have for parents of middle school students and these families who are considering if Madison Academic is right for them?
Honestly, I just say to really try to install a good work ethic and just reinforce just working hard. And I think Madison would be a good place to be. I don't really think you can go wrong sending your child there. So I think if you start them off there, they can grow and work harder. And it's a perfect atmosphere. You got all the good professors. Everything's set up the way it should be. So I say don't hesitate at all.
I had the pleasure of visiting with some Northside graduates who are in college right now last week. A young man from Bethel and a young lady from the University of Memphis. She's participating in band there. And I asked them this question. So let me preface that by saying that. What's something you wish someone had told you that you know now, but you didn't know when you arrived on campus there at UT Knoxville?
I'd say there's a couple things. One thing is Madison was always a small school, so you kind of get used to familiar faces. But I think school made me more sociable. So one thing I wish I knew was that, like, I'm always meeting new people. Like, you meet someone new every day. And it was hard to adjust to that at first. I was kind of awkward about it, but now it's a good thing for me. I try to network through it. Another thing I wish I knew is how much free time you get. It's always been a structure for me, especially in high school. You just go to school from these many hours and then you go to practice and then you go home, do your homework, all that. But you have so much time to do things, and it's helped me with my time management and stuff. So that's two things I wish I knew.
Parents, if you're listening to this, let me tell you, this is the third college student we visited with, and time management is a buzzword. Everyone seems to be using that word, so there must be something to that there. Hey, Brennan, before we end the call, you got to give a shout out to the folks back home.
Oh yeah, of course. I just want to shout out every teacher I've ever had in the school systems, Madison, Northeast, elementary school. If you're listening, thank you so much for being involved in my life. And another special shout out for my mom and my grandmother for sure. I know they're listening here. Every day I just try to make them proud, my family proud, everyone that supported me proud. So thank you.
Your grandmother, Barbara Forrest, is a retired teacher from the school system. And
Yes,
so,
sir.
She's a huge supporter still, and so we certainly appreciate her. And if I can name drop just for a second, Kenya is a classmate of mine.
Yes, sir.
Southside High School. Tad, anyone? Brennan, thank you so much for your time. Tennessee plays UT Martin. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We do this weekend at 12 p.m. Eastern, so 11 a.m. there.
Can you take it easy on my alma mater?
We'll try. We're a little fired up after last week, so can't really expect too much toning it down. So
Brennan Forrest is a 2020 graduate of Madison Academic. He's a junior right now at the University of Tennessee, majoring kinesiology, and he is a manager on the UT football team. Brennan, we're proud of you. Be sure to finish the job. We know you will, and thank you for visiting us on For the District.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. You all have a nice day.
You've been listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast. This is a production of the Jackson-Madison County School System in partnership with Forever Communications. You can catch our podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, whether that be Apple, Google, Spotify, but you can always catch us on Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. right here on JJ 97.7 FM. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information, saying so long, and we hope to see you next week.